Welcome to the Computer Science Online Open House, presented by the Extended Education Department and the School of Computing and Design. Our program will begin in 2 minutes, so please make yourself comfortable. Thank you for joining us today for the Computer Science Online Open House, presented by the Extended Education Department and the School of Computing and Design. Before we start today's program, we will review some Zoom housekeeping items with you. At the end of this program, there will be a live Q&A session. Please submit any questions now or at any time throughout the program using the Q&A icon located at the bottom of your Zoom navigation bar, as shown on the screen. Throughout the program today, you will be able to chat with other attendees and panelists. To chat with others, please find the chat icon located on your Zoom navigation bar on the bottom of your screen. Here you will have the option to publicly chat with the whole group or the option to chat with just the panelists. Please keep all comments in the chat box appropriate. Failure to do so may result in the host removing you from this webinar. If you're having trouble viewing this webinar and need assistance, please email specialevents@csumb.edu. One of our team members is monitoring that email and will respond to assist you. At this time, I would like to welcome Kayla Rolachek to the virtual stage. Kayla is the CS Online Program Academic Advisor, and she will be the moderator for today's program. Please welcome Kayla.
Thank you so much, Susan. Hi, everybody. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right. So thank you again, Susan. I would like to welcome you all to the Computer Science Online Open House. Today, we expect it to last for about an hour. And if there are any links that happen to be listed on the slides, then we will actually be inputting those in the chat box so you can easily access them and save those for later. Just as Susan mentioned, if you have any questions at any time, please be sure to use the Q&A chat box and we'll be able to answer those during our Q&A portion. Before we get started with today's agenda, we kind of want to get to know the audience a little bit more. So throughout this presentation, I will be asking a few polling questions to get to know everybody a little bit so we can make sure that the presentation includes information that will be sure to pertain to everybody. Your responses will be anonymous and only be viewable by the panelist. So please take a moment to fill out a poll that will pop up on your screen in just a moment. That will kind of give us a little bit of background, a little bit of your background before we go over the agenda. And there we go. All right. So my goal is that before you leave today, you will get to know a little bit more about computer science online. We will give you a bit of background and history of CSUMB and the CS Online program. We'll also discuss our program cost, structure, and special features about CS Online, what is required of students for graduation, and what courses you will complete while enrolled in the program, how to apply, and then we will also hear from a panel of 3 CS Online alumni where they will introduce themselves and share their experience as to why they chose CSUMB and the CS Online program. We will then finish up the open house with our Q&A session. All right, so looking at the poll, we have a decent amount of students who are registered at community college, a lot who are working full-time. Great, couple of changes to the workforce. Awesome, thank you so much for answering those questions. All right, moving on. So first off, for introductions, my name is Kayla Rolachek, and I'm the academic advisor for Computer Science Online, and I am also the coordinator for the program. I assist students from the point from when they inquire about the program all the way through graduation. I received my Master's of Education in College Student Services Administration from Oregon State University in June of this year, and I'm also a CSUMB alum. I received my Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science in spring of 2015. A brief fun fact about me is that I actually started with the CSA Online program as a TA for the very first class that was offered, and I have been a staff member with the program ever since. All right. That takes us to Dr. Eric Tao. I would like to invite Dr. Eric Tao to introduce himself. He is the founding director of Computer Science Online.
Great. Well, Kayla, if you permit me to show my face, it'll be wonderful. Let me try that. But audio will work also. Well, could start my video. That's great. Hello, Kayla. Hello, everyone. So happy to see a great turnout for open house. We don't run this often. I want to say hi to everyone. I have the honor and the pleasure to start the computer science program both on campus and online for the last about 10 years. The Computer Science Online program is a wonderful, high-quality program that create a lot of very successful graduates. So welcome to everyone today, and I will be in the open house and definitely will be in the program if you enroll. I've been with CSUMB for 23 years. My background was my PhD at UC Irvine from computer engineering, and I know quite a bit about computer science industry and definitely our program. So looking forward to hear more from Kayla, but definitely able to answer some question, and absolutely looking forward to some of you actually in the program. Thank you, Kayla.
Great, thank you so much, Eric. All right. Before we get started with the rest of the program, I'm going to briefly introduce each of the alumni that we will be hearing from more later in the open house. The 3 alumni are Luciano Avendano from cohort 1, Victor Ramirez from cohort 8, and Matthew Valanci from cohort 2. And that will take us to introduction of CSUMB and the CS Online program. So while we introduce CSUMB, we want to kind of get an idea of where everyone resides. So second poll should pop up just in a moment. Perfect. So just in case you don't know, CSUMB is located on the central coast of California, and it was founded in 1994 on the former site of Fort Ord Army Base. CSUMB is part of the CSU California State University system and is actually the second youngest out of the 23 campuses. CSUMB has over 7,500 students enrolled, which actually includes 400 students who are enrolled in a fully online program. We have 3 fully online programs at CSUMB. One is the Computer Science Online. We also have Masters of Instructional Science and Technology, and then we have an online business administration master's program as well. CSUMB has 24 undergraduate majors and 8 graduate programs, and CSUMB's mission is to prepare students to contribute responsibly to California and the global community by providing transformative learning experiences in an inclusive environment. CSUMB also has made a commitment to sustainability by reducing greenhouse gas emissions and achieve carbon neutrality by 2030, as well as plant 2,030 trees. And looking back at the polling, it does look like majority of our students who are the majority of the attendees today are from Southern California. Awesome, good to see you. Northern California, just a few. Majority of the students who actually enroll in the CS Online program are from Southern California. So that's this matches pretty much. So great, thank you. Let's see. And then we are going to talk about a brief history of Computer Science Online. So Computer Science Online is offered through the Extended Education Department in collaboration with the School of Computing and Design at CSUMB. We accepted our very first cohort in fall of 2014. And since then, we moved from accepting one cohort per year in the fall to 2 cohorts per year in the fall and the spring. And then in fall of 2021, we will be accepting our 14th cohort. We are so lucky to have over 180 wonderful alumni, and at the end of the program, we welcome all CS Online graduates to come to campus, usually for the first time, and to celebrate their accomplishments with the Computer Science Online program and attend commencement. Dr. Tao and I will often attend the commencement ceremony so we can get a group picture with the graduates. As you see on the slides, in the top right, we have the very first cohort, and then left to right at the bottom, cohort 2, 3, 4, and 5, so on and so forth. And we're expecting our next graduation ceremony to be a very big one because of commencements being canceled, but we're looking forward to that. And final thing, our program is available to upper division transfer students and students who are seeking an additional bachelor's degree. All right, one more polling question for now. We kind of want to get an idea of how many people in the audience already hold a bachelor's degree. So that should be popping up just now. Please take a moment to fill that out. Awesome, it already looks like there's quite a few students who have a bachelor's degree. So I'll just make sure to go over all of those specific bachelor's requirements. So Computer Science Online is a 2-year program. Our courses are 8 weeks long, and we expect students to spend about 16 hours or so on average per week on the classes. We are a cohort-based program, so you follow a specific sequence of classes from beginning to end, and most of the time you will be enrolled in one class with the exception of 1 or 2 terms where you take 2 classes at a time just so you can graduate in the 2 years. Hearing experiences from our alumni, taking 1 class at a time was really nice because that was meaning that all of their focus could be on just that one specific class because a lot of the students do work full-time. You are required to take courses in the spring, summer, and the fall, and there are 2 breaks per year that are usually about 1.5 to 2 weeks long. You will be considered a part-time in the Computer Science Online program, and you will take 11 to 14 courses while enrolled. This solely will depend on transfer credit, and for those of you who have already had a bachelor's degree, those of you who have a bachelor's degree, it will be at the lower end because you don't have to take any general education, but I'll go over that in a little bit more. So the program is mostly asynchronous. You will not be required to be logged in on a weekly basis for lectures, but we do have required course orientations, which happen every 8 weeks. We have the occasional meetings with the faculty and myself, the academic advisor, and then we also have proctored exams via Zoom. We do try to be mindful of the fact that a lot of the students do work full time, and our orientations and exams will always be on Saturdays. And if there are required meeting times, we try to make sure we have some available times in the evenings as well. And finally, teamwork is a very important aspect of Computer Science Online. You are placed into a team at the very beginning of the program, and you will follow that team throughout the program up to graduation. So in order to graduate with your bachelor's from Computer Science Online, you must complete lower division and upper division requirements, some of which will need to be completed at a community college. So all lower division classes like the CSU General Education Breadth, our 7 lower division computer science and math graduation requirements, which I'll go over a little bit later, the world culture and languages requirement. So that world culture and language, you will need to take 1 semester of a foreign language to get that covered. Some other community colleges may have some like a specific language or culture class that is not a foreign language specific, but we can talk about that if you have questions about those courses in an email. And then the second bachelor's degree students or the additional bachelor's degree students, you do not need to worry about the CSU General Education Breadth. All of your GE credits will transfer over from your first bachelor's degree. but you will need to take the 7 lower division computer science and math classes. And then when it comes to the upper division classes, all of these will be completed at CSUMB. There are 11 core computer science courses, 2 upper division general education courses, and 1 elective if needed. The students who are seeking another bachelor's degree do not need to take the upper division general education classes. And the computer science online program, our concentration is software engineering. Unfortunately, we don't have any other concentrations at this time, so software engineering is the one that we have our focus on. All right, so the list of CS Online courses. We won't spend a lot of time on these courses, but I did want to put them up on the screen for a little bit just in case you wanted to ask some questions about any specific ones at the end. So as I mentioned, they are set out in a specific sequence, and you start with classes like Major Pro Seminar, and you move on to software design, which focuses on Java. And then you'll take some classes like operating systems, algorithms. You'll end with software engineering before you jump into your capstone project, which is kind of where you are able to show off and showcase all of the skills that you learned within computer science online. The upper division classes that you would need to take throughout the program that we do offer are Reasoning with Logic, Digital Art and Design, and then the Race, Gender, and Class in the Digital World is both a upper division general education requirement and a core computer science class. So because of this, that class is required for all graduates, even students who are seeking a second bachelor's degree. And then if we have an elective, if you need an elective, that's definitely kind of on a case-by-case basis, so we can talk about that a little bit more separately if you are interested. So the tuition. I know that the CS Online tuition is very different structure than than a traditional on-campus tuition. Traditional on-campus, it's, you know, if you're a part-time student, you pay this much for the semester. If you are a full-time student, you pay this much. CS Online does charge a per unit cost, and the program is 43 to 50 units, again, depending on how many classes you have to take throughout the program. One of the nice things is that the $525 per unit applies to all students, regardless of California residency. So anyone and everyone who applies to this program will pay that cost. We do have some states that we cannot accept students from. Those are listed on our website under the admissions requirements page, so I would definitely recommend going there. There will be a link to our website at the end. The majority of the courses in computer science online are 4 units each. So the only ones that are less than that, a little bit less than that, are the general education courses. And then some additional fees that we have are the application fee, and then the $100 enrollment confirmation fee that you will need to pay if you are admitted into the program. And then we have student services fees that students will have to pay every semester. It's only $39, but it will come up to about $234 for the entire program. And if there are books that are required for the classes, not a lot of the classes do this, but if there are any sort of books that are required, the faculty will be sure to reach out to you ahead of time before the class officially starts, so you can make sure you can get access to that book when you need it. All right, so how to apply. As I mentioned before, we do accept 2 cohorts per year every fall and spring. Our fall applications are from October to February. So our applications for fall of 2021, for example, will close on February 28th in 2021. And then spring application cycles are from June to August. So spring 2022 applications will open on June 1st of 2021. We do have very limited space available in the program. We only have about 35 spots or so. So we highly recommend that you have all of the admissions requirements and required courses, recommended courses completed prior to applying. So what are those admissions requirements? So in order to be eligible for the program, you need to be transfer ready, CSU transfer ready. Those of you who are attending a community college can reach out to your counselor and make sure you're on the right track. And then transfer ready is having 60 semester equivalent units of college level courses completed, 30 semester equivalent units of general education completed, a GPA of 2.0 or higher, being in good standing from the last college that you attended, and having the golden 4. So that's speech, composition, critical thinking, and a college level math. Students who are seeking an additional bachelor's only need to worry about being in good standing and having a GPA of 2.0 or higher. As I mentioned, you do not need to retake general education classes again. Those will transfer over from your first degree. We have 3 required prerequisites that you absolutely cannot start the program without, and 4 recommended prerequisites. These are the 7 courses that I mentioned before that are graduation requirements. So the classes, the 3 required are Introduction to Programming in Java or C++, Introduction to Data Structures in Java or C++, and Pre-Calculus. And the 4 recommended classes are Computer Architecture, Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Discrete Mathematics. Keep in mind that priority will be given to applicants who have all of the required and the recommended courses, as well as the transfer-ready requirements completed at the time they submit their application. You are welcome to apply while having some classes in progress, but it is definitely recommended to wait to apply until after those prerequisites are done, just because we are getting a little bit more competitive. All right, so how do you submit your application? So to start your Cal State Apply application, you will visit Cal State Apply, calstate.edu/apply. And because, as I mentioned before, the Computer Science Online program is offered through the Extended Education Department. So you will find Computer Science Online under Monterey Bay Extension. If you have any questions about this, you're more than welcome to send me an email, and I'm happy to do a walkthrough of the application with you. But just know that you will not find it under the just main Monterey Bay campus. It will be under Monterey Bay Extension. And in order for your application to be considered complete to be reviewed, all official transcripts must be received by CSUMB. From every single college that you attended, even that one college that you may have attended 15 years ago and you only took 1 class, if that class is listed as transfer credit on one of your transcripts, you will definitely need to request a transcript from there. And you also will need to submit exam scores, official exam scores like AP exams, CLEP exams, TOEFL exams, so on and so forth. If you have international transcripts, you must have a course-by-course evaluation and, if applicable, an English translation. And if you have previously applied to CSUMB before, whether it be for Computer Science Online or another major, you will need to resubmit transcripts. And in COVID time right now, official electronic transcripts are definitely preferred. Physical transcripts are acceptable, but just know that because of the many delays, like people working from home, physical transcripts have been taking upwards of 6 weeks to be fully sent by the community college, accepted and received by CSUMB, and then processed. So since that process is so lengthy, I definitely would recommend electronic transcripts if possible. And then important application deadlines. So these are always listed on our website. November 2020, November 20th, 2020 is when we have our priority application deadline. So if you want to get your application reviewed before everybody else's, you would need to have your application submitted, all official transcripts received by CSUMB, and all prerequisites and transfer ready requirements must be completed in order to qualify for this priority deadline. If you apply for the priority deadline and you qualify for the priority deadline, your admissions decisions will probably be sent out in I want to say the end of January or so. And otherwise, if you submit your transcripts and everything by the final application deadline and the transcript deadline, then decisions will be sent out around the end of April. So, frequently asked questions. So some of these questions may have come up in the Q&A box already, but just in case they haven't, does the diploma say that the degree is online? Absolutely not. The degree that you receive upon completion of Computer Science Online is the same exact degree that the on-campus students receive. So you will receive a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science from California State University, Monterey Bay. Can I complete this program in less than 2 years? Good question. And the answer is potentially, maybe. It really will just depend on your transfer credit. If you've taken some upper division classes at another school before, it really will just depend. I know a question is like, can I double up and finish in a year? Not necessarily, because we only offer classes at certain times per year. That kind of is done on a case-by-case basis, and it will really depend on our course offerings. Will I be required to come to campus at all? No, you are not required to come to campus at any time. You are more than welcome to for events, like if there are career fairs or if there's some sort of resources on campus that you want to use, you're more than welcome to do that. But you are not going to be required to come on campus for assignments. And again, if you want to be a part of the alumni who do come and to travel for commencement, you can do that as well. Can I take a course that is not a part of the computer science online sequence? So unfortunately, because of the fee structure and a few other things, the only classes that are available to computer science online students at CSU Monterey Bay are classes within the computer science online program. So if you are wanting to take a class in a different subject, I would highly recommend checking out a community college or maybe another CSU through their extension program or UC through their extension program as well. And another frequently asked question, the final one, is financial aid available? Yes. However, something to keep in mind, again, you will be a part-time student, so this can affect your aid. And then on top of that, we are a self-funded program. So we do not get any sort of funding from the state. So you would not be able to use California-based loans or California grants like the Cal Grant. But you can use federal loans and federal grants. All right, so that is everything. Before we hear from our alumni, we have just one more poll. We kind of just want to know how you heard about the computer science online program. You should see that polling question in just a moment. Feel free to complete that poll while we listen to our lovely alumni share their own experience. All right. So the alumni, we are going to invite everyone to speak for 2 to 3 minutes about their overall experience about computer science online, why they chose CSUMB and the CS Online program. So first, I would like to invite Luciano Avendano, summer 2016 graduate from cohort 1.
Hey, test, can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Hey, it's really cool to hear that the program has expanded to 2 cohorts per year. That's awesome. Sounds like it got really popular over the last few years since I've graduated. So for me, this was a great opportunity to be able to take online courses and continue working my full-time job. That's really what the program, that's why the program appealed to me the most, especially when, you know, you have limited time to kind of take on class or traditional classes at the college. Also, fortunately, I live in the area. I actually live right here in the Monterey Bay area. So I did take advantage of the resources that the college provided. So anytime on the weekend that I needed a quieter place to study than my home office, you know, I was able to go out there and actually use up, you know, the computers or the library. So that was really good. And also just having, you know, having that group of students that's with you along the way of this program was really helpful, especially if there's certain topics or concepts that you didn't fully grasp. You always have those students that you can leverage off of too. And everyone's really super helpful. Obviously, everybody's there for the same reason, with the same goals in mind. So you kind of have that working for you. Overall, I had a very positive experience. My counselor, Dr. Tao, if you're listening to me, thank you very much. You were a great inspiration to a lot of us, actually. You also provided great words of wisdom whenever, you know, a lot of us were frustrated and tired of having to go through the program, you know, because it's rigorous. I'm not going to lie. It does take some time. It's pretty time intensive. It requires a certain amount of effort and a certain amount of discipline for you to put in. But everyone that's involved in the program is very helpful, is always available. So anytime you're stuck with something or, you know, regarding your individual development plan, you're always going to have your counselor be able to help you out and make sure that you know, that's a smooth transition so that you can graduate on time. So overall, kudos to everyone. I'm glad. Thank you for inviting me. I love coming back and talking about this program. I still do. I'm currently teaching over at Monterey Peninsula College, and I'm always talking about this program. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Luciano. And then that will take us to Victor Ramirez.
Hello, thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Dr. Tao. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hi. So my overall experience with the CS Online program was extremely positive. As a full-time working individual, the online flexibility was key. The amazing use of technology to provide a fully remote experience pre-pandemic was an enormous advantage. The faculty, staff, Dr. Tao, Kayla, everyone involved was excellent, and they delivered a strong CS curriculum. I'd like to echo what Luciano said. The cohorts are a great resource to tap into because it is a rigorous program. Time management and keeping track of assignments and everything you have to do will be very important. And the reason I selected CS Online, after an exhaustive amount of research, because there's many universities and schools that do provide online programs, and many calls and emails with Kayla, I knew this was the right program for me. As a junior level CS student that I had taken a break from education for a while, I did want to leverage the coursework I had done. And as a working individual, time was of the essence. So I made my decision after comparing cost, transfer credits from my previous work, and then the duration of the program, because like I said, time is premium for all of us. So with all these factors and now having completed the program, I'm extremely satisfied with my decision. I feel this has prepared me so much so that I am in the process of applying to grad programs now. I'm going to pursue a CS computer science master's with a specialization in artificial intelligence. So I'm leveraging everything I've learned here at CS Online Degree to further my education and my career. So with that, I wanted to thank everyone for inviting me. I believe in this program so much that I will take time out to kind of evangelicalize its benefits in the program itself. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Victor. Thank you so much. And last but not least, that will take us to Matthew Valanci.
Hello, is it working?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I don't see my picture, so.
Let me go ahead and get that started. There you go.
Okay. I don't see it. So, but it's showing up.
Yes, yeah. We
Okay.
can see it now.
So I'd like to start by talking about why I chose the program. For me, I was one of these people that was like, I don't need a college degree. I think, you just do a good job, you're going to be fine, everything's going to work out. But so I was going to CSUMB in person for I think it's 2 years. And then I dropped out to join a startup that was down the street from the school. And then I did a few more startups. And then at Tesla is really kind of where I started to see, hey, you talk to people like Elon Musk, and he's like, you don't need a degree. But at the end of the day, he's not the HR department. He's not interviewing you. He's not deciding how much you make. And so I got information about the CS Online program. And I said, okay, that seems like a pretty good idea. So I did it, and I was happy with the results. It was good just to go for it. And as far as my experience at CSUMB, what I really liked is that I don't know about other schools how they work out, but they really don't let you fall through the cracks. I had different life problems. My wife had medical issues. I had things come up, and I was working full time, of course. But Kayla just didn't let me fall through the cracks, and I really appreciate that. That's something, I don't know, maybe there's another school that might be cheaper, but yeah, and I really appreciate that I didn't fall through the cracks. And I like the group work. It's interesting. The one piece of advice I would have is to meet the minimum criteria as quickly as possible on assignments, and then try to make them better, go above and beyond it, because that's what will get you a good job in the workplace. Just delivering quickly and then iterating and improving it. So if you have a teammate that just wants to meet the minimum requirements, really push them to exceed that and have fun with the assignments, do something cool that you like instead of just, oh, I'm trying to get a grade here. No, don't do that. Just keep going. That's all I really have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. Thank you. Great. I want to thank the alumni for sharing their experiences today. They definitely will be available afterwards to answer some questions. So let me go ahead. I just got a notice saying my connection is unstable, so I hope everyone can hear me okay. So let me go ahead and move to the next slide. All of this information, it's just our contact information. So if you have any further questions, you are more than welcome to contact us. You can fill out our interest form if you haven't done so already. You are also welcome to, when you fill out the interest form, you will be able to stay in contact with us with updates that we have about the program, as well as any sort of events like this one. You're also welcome to visit our website, and you can also send me an email at csonline@csumb.edu or give me a call at 831-582-3781. I will say that right now, the best way to get a hold of me is most definitely via email, and then we can schedule a time to chat. Great. So thank you so much again for joining us today. We do want to use the remainder of the time that we have to maybe answer any questions. I do see that there have been quite a few answered already, but let me go ahead and stop sharing so you could see our faces. All right, so there are a couple of questions that were in the chat box. Let me see, it looks like it was a question for the guest speaker. So alumni, where were you before in your career before starting Computer Science Online? And then where are you now that you have the Computer Science Online degree? Mute everybody.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure, you can go first.
Yeah, so so I started going to, give me a second here. Okay. I started going to school over at Monterey Peninsula College. That's where I worked on my transfer courses. I did take a few online. I also went to the Naval Postgraduate School, which is also a local college here in the Monterey area. That's really where I got started. But I think once I actually got started in the CSUMB program, that's where I kind of fully, immersed myself in sort of a lot of the concepts and topics that I was learning there.
Thank you, Luciano. Victor, Matthew, want to jump in?
Sure, I can go in. I guess I was, career-wise, I was already an engineer at Moody's Analytics. Now that I have a solid, what I've noticed, and I think this is probably something that bothered me, not having that CS degree behind you. People I get tapped for more side projects now. And then especially showing an interest in pursuing an AI degree now, definitely I'm tapped more into more cutting edge or more newer thinking technologies. So I think that the degree has helped me in that way, just opening more doors for me.
Great, thank you, Victor. Matt, anything else to add?
I'd like to agree with what Victor's saying. For me, I was bouncing around. It'd be like, okay, I worked my way up to being an engineer at Tesla, but then I went to Joby to work on electric planes, and they're like, you don't have a degree, so you're a technician. And it's just nice to stop bouncing around, being an engineer. Like, you can make a lot of money as a technician, but it's just nice to not be bouncing up and down and just not have to constantly negotiate to say, okay, you're an engineer.
Great.
Yeah, it validates you.
Yeah.
You can talk to people and you can negotiate with small companies, but in bigger companies or when you have more people, they do want to go by these systems, and I hate that because I'm super nonconformist about things like that, but that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. Thank you. There is a question specifically for Luciano. Were there ever times when your peers were having trouble staying on topic? If so, what was your advice for combating this?
I still do, actually. I still have a lot of I have a lot of trouble trying to keep that focus. It's repetitive action, right? It's like, I mean, you can train your mind to do anything, and obviously you just put the effort into it. But I did. It was I mean, there's so many distractions, right? But again, and I mentioned this earlier on, having that cohort kind of keep you reeled in and keep you concentrated on what you're working on really helps out. And that's the unique aspect of this program, is that everybody that goes into it has a specific goal that they want to achieve, which is to graduate and get this piece of paper. So that helps out. That really helps out. But I'm still working on it. I mean, I think I'm going to be a student for life.
Lifelong learner.
There you go, lifelong learner. Yeah, yeah.
I would just like to echo that a lot of the courses are around the cohorts, and then teamwork. A lot of teamwork. I think there's only a couple classes where you can go like completely solo, but everything is you're gonna have to be able to work with others and just get through it.
Right.
Awesome. Matt, would you like to add anything else?
No, yeah, I agree with what they're saying. I like the teamwork.
Great. Thank you so much. Matt, we do have a question specifically for you. Were you programming boot camp grad or just an autodidact?
I started programming at CSUMB in person. For me, it was hard to get motivated to do that on my own. Like I was doing computer animation and other stuff. But then to really sit down, it is nice to just have classes and just sit down and do that to get started at least. And then you have it in your head and you can work on it on your own more. But I really like the classes for that.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. So I know there's a couple of questions that have been coming in. I do want to just make sure I touch those just with my voice as well. So if you're in progress of any classes while you are in the application process, I do want to say that we do give priority to students who have all of the prerequisites done. So if you are trying to apply for fall, I would highly recommend that you wait to apply until after your prerequisites are done, all 3 required ones, and even maybe a couple of the others, just because of how competitive it is starting to become. I will say that the past couple of fall application cycles, students had to have the ones who were admitted had the 3 required prerequisites done by the end of the fall term before. So if you're planning to have classes in progress in spring, I don't want to say that it's not possible, but historically, you might end up being placed on a wait list or something. So just keep that in mind. So foreign language requirement, community college, you only need to take 1 semester to cover that foreign language requirement. Let's see. And then, do credits expire? No, credits do not expire. They just need to be upper division. And if you've completed, I know the question was about classes specific to CSUMB, those will transfer over just fine. But if they were any like programming based classes, you might want to just get a refresher. How do you complete the upper division courses? The language is actually lower division. You will take that at a community college. All upper division classes are a part of Computer Science Online. And then, yeah, so I would highly recommend, if you have any classes in progress, that you wait to apply until they're done. You are definitely more than welcome to apply and try. And if for some reason you don't get in or you're placed on a wait list and you can't be taken off of that, then you could always reapply. Reapplying does not hurt your chances in any way. But you are also more than welcome to reach out to me directly if you want to have any specific questions about your specific situation. All right, question. Do the majority of students who complete the CS Online program through CSUMB usually go on to careers in software engineering? Do we see a lot of students use their CS background in other disciplines within tech? I know Matthew said that he was working more with avionics. So it really just depends on what the students are doing. So some of our students actually work full-time in the field already and are just wanting to move up in their career. But the program, the degree that you receive at the end is a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science, and the only thing that states what your concentration is your final official transcript. So it's not like you're getting a Bachelor's of Science in Software Engineering. If you want to get a job somewhere else, it's a more general degree for sure. But does anyone want to, Dr. Tao, anybody want to add some comments?
Great. So first, I'm so happy to see Matthew, Luciana, Victor. It's like we're back to the old days. You're all grown up and graduated. So sad. Okay, so in terms of the career, remember the reason why we designed this degree, you get a degree in computer science. That's a solid foundation for all the fields of different computer science. software engineering is kind of focused, but your education is a solid computer science. So you can go into IT, data science, AI, machine learning, robotics. So prepare you for that. But if you want the more advanced one, you might have to take a graduate program afterwards. So it doesn't limit you to software engineering. It's a good base for all type of technology related careers. Kayla?
Great. Thank you, Dr. Tao. Let me go ahead and mark that one. Are there any additional math requirements outside of what is listed on the recommended and required prerequisites? No, you only need to take up to Calculus 2 and then discrete math. You won't have to go up to Calculus 3 or anything higher. We do have an upper division GE class within CS Online that is a B area based class, but that's, you know, that class hasn't really been offered yet, but it is a potentially could have some sort of mathematical aspect to it. And then let's see. Is the the CSUMB undergraduate research program available to people in the computer science online program? That is an excellent question. Send me an email with that question, and then I can look into that a little bit more for you, just because I believe that is a separately funded program. So we just want to make sure that that's an option or not. All right. And then is there a way for us to check which classes to transfer that will transfer, or will we have to apply first? That's a great question. So we cannot do full evaluations of transcripts prior to you submitting an application. However, I am very, very happy to sit down with you and check for like those computer science required prerequisites, the recommended prerequisites. If you're out of state, I know that our CSU transfer breadth can be a little confusing because what's required for California might not be required out of state. So just shoot me an email and we can definitely chat about it, since it is kind of like a case-by-case thing. But I can't do a full evaluation, so I'm not able to tell you, yes, you're going to be admitted. I can't tell you that. All right. So it looks like there are no more questions in the Q&A. Oh, one just popped up. Structure of the waitlist. So the waitlist is something that we are just recently implementing this application cycle, actually. Just send me an email with a little bit more information. But at this time, what we will do is if you are not admitted, or if you are not able to be offered a spot on the waitlist, then you would have to reapply for the next cycle. Just shoot me an email if you have any further questions about the waitlist. I do have one question for the alumni. So what would you say is the best part of CSUMB, and then maybe one piece of feedback you would give for the CS Online program? Any one of you can start, or if you don't want to share, that's okay too.
I'll go first.
All right.
The best part of CSUMB is that it's right next to the beautiful Pacific Ocean. So if you are down in Southern California, you can obviously take a little trip up here, a day trip, and visit the campus. It's really awesome. They've been improving it over the last few years. I drive by it every single day. Pre-pandemic, of course. I've been working remotely since then. But not only that, it has awesome facilities, especially the CS building is really cool, and they're always having events. They always have really, like hackathons. Those are really cool ways to obviously come in and hone your skills. The resources are always available to you, so you never feel like you're lost or you're not getting enough information. Dr. Tao and Kayla, I'm sure since I've graduated, this program has really expanded and it has gotten much, much better. So yeah, and those are just some of the few things that I think why this school's great.
Great, thank you, Luciano. Victor or Matt?
I would say, I would just echo what Dr. Tao said. I think it's a good, solid foundation CS degree. I know it's not specialized, but like I said, I had already started a CS program at another state school, and at first I was wondering, you know, how that curriculum would stack up with this. And it's just as strong, you know, you're not losing anything out. You're getting a great foundation, and it's you know, a very strong program. I guess one thing that I would say I would have liked, and I think Kayla, you kind of mentioned it, like I said, time is of the essence for me all the time. So I was always one of those people that trying to get ahead, you know, how can I get this ahead? How can I take another class? Maybe a little bit more flexibility in that. I know that that's not as easy to offer, but you're still doing it in 2 years. But I would say maybe not in the beginning. I think once I had a good cadence going and I had completed a few of the courses, because 8 weeks is pretty fast already, but trying to double up in that is challenging. But I think that's something that I would have, if it was a little more formalized, I probably would have attempted that.
Great, thank you.
Personally, I really like the classes that use Python because that's everywhere. You look all around factories, wherever you go. It's like if you're in California, you should learn Python and then learn Spanish. So those are the two things that you need, you know. On the downside, I think it's been around long enough. Like I started at CSUMB when it was like telecommunications, multimedia. Like it was pretty early on, I think. It wasn't even a computer science thing. And now it's far enough along where I think the downsides are, you know, everything's gotten ironed out. You have people like Kayla, so you're not going to fall through the cracks like you might with a bigger program.
Thank you, Matt. All
Hey,
right. Yeah, Luciano.
Kayla, there's an interesting question that I just saw pop up.
Sure.
And it's from, I guess, Jerome or Jeremy Ortega. He's saying, did you use a Mac or a PC to get through the content in the program? Let me give you guys a pretty good word of advice. Get comfortable with using any operating system. I'll tell you right now that as the world of desktops and mobile platforms is expanding, I think it's really good to get comfortable using Windows, Mac, and Linux. Especially if you go work in at a big data center, you'll find that most organizations use Linux as their back end. And during the as you go through this program, you will get to explore different operating systems. But I would say get comfortable with using any operating system, right? So you're gonna get a chance to deploy VMware or VirtualBox to deploy different different operating systems within those VMs. So it's a great opportunity to kind of start getting really comfortable with that. That's a great question, by the way.
Thank you so much, Luciano. All right, so currently in Cabrillo 2+2 program designed to help me transfer smoothly to CSUMB in a computer science major. Can I join this program? That's a great question. If you want to reach out to me and just kind of show me what those requirements are, then we can kind of definitely talk through that. But I don't want to say that it's a guarantee just because since we do have the limited space in our program. How well recognized in this program, my concern is that a potential employer diminishes the value of it because it's an online program. So when you graduate, the degree that you receive is a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science from CSU Monterey Bay, from California State University, Monterey Bay. So you're receiving a bachelor's degree from the CSU system. It will not mention anywhere on any of your official documents that it is an online program. So unless you share that with them, they will not know. But you will be receiving a Bachelor's of Science in Computer Science from California State University, Monterey Bay.
And Kayla, can I speak on that a little bit? So the same faculty, most of the faculty teach both online and on campus. The curriculum are the same. Some of the final are the same, but don't ask the on-campus student for that. At the end of the program, both the on-campus student and online student take the same, we call it ETS test. It's a national test for computer science graduate. And over the years, we carefully monitor that performance. And our online student, our on-campus student are about the same. Most of the year, our online student actually edge out the on-campus student a little bit because I believe the online student probably work a little bit harder, more driven. So in terms of the quality, They are the same program. It's just funding source and learning methodology is different, but the quality, curriculum, and your degree is the same. So don't worry about that. In terms of recognition, CSUMB, even being a young campus, having get a lot of awards, is first is of course it's a very beautiful campus. Come and hike and bike, wonderful. It's very innovative. The faculty and the staff are very passionate about student learning. So it's being recognized by many. If you go to US and News and World Report, you can read a lot about US CSUMB. For the program specifically, go and there are many different ranking. Depending on if you believe or not, we consistently rank nationally top 5 compared to big name school. You probably know, like University of Florida, Oregon State, or University of Maryland. For a smaller new campus to consistently rank top 5, I think that really is evidence of how great our graduates. So it's well recognized. So definitely do your research. So we feel really confident and proud. Kayla?
I would like to echo, like Dr. Tao said, the curriculum is the same. And like I said, it's 8 weeks. So some of the classes, especially once you get farther in the program, take a lot of time and a lot of dedication. It's not watered down at all. It's the same curriculum.
Thank you so much. If anyone has any questions specifically for me, you can definitely email me at csonline@csumb.edu. I'm the only one that monitors that email. So even though it's just a generic computer science email, you're not talking to a robot, you will be talking to me. So definitely feel free to send any questions there. Few more questions. We only have about 6 more minutes left. Will the courses in the major give you certificates in Linux administration? We do not have any certificates that are a part of the program, but you could potentially visit a community college to get some certificates there. Alumni, how did you go about obtaining internships, if any? I will say that CS Online does not specifically have any computer science online internships. We do potentially have opportunities to maybe be a TA for a class if you're interested. But when it comes to internships outside of the program or outside of CSUMB, those usually have to be searched for on your own. But CS Online, or the computer science department in general, actually has a little resource where they have just like a list of different opportunities, job and internships that are available. So you will be able to have access to that when you are admitted into the program.
Just maybe very quickly, if you are interested in internship, that's a great opportunity to build your career. Connect with your faculty and start networking quickly. And the opportunity is in the middle, we have service learning. You provide service to a government or school or nonprofit. That could be a good practice of your skill. And definitely if you can find someone to sponsor your capstone, which is the final senior project, that could be a very good hands-on experience. Many of those lead to career or intern afterwards. So networking, get your faculty to know it, use the curriculum to build that internship or hands-on experience.
Yeah, just real quick, I can follow up on that. So when you get started with your cohort, chances are most of them are already working individuals, working for well-known companies, as a matter of fact. So that networking part is really crucial, and it's really critical. Network. That's usually what I like to tell my students. And that's where you start getting really, good opportunities for internships. Your fellow cohort's going to start sharing links, and one email after another. Next thing you know, you'll have plenty of opportunities to take advantage of. So keep that in mind.
So much. There's only, I know there's a few questions that have popped up, but we are running out of time. So I'm going to kind of try to power through these really quickly. Thank you so much, Keith. He added some information about jobs and internships with the state of California. So thank you so much for sharing that. I will actually copy that to the chat. Next, let's see. So how helpful is an AST? An associate's for transfer is definitely helpful when it comes to the transfer ready requirements. However, all ASTs, computer science ASTs, for example, are different at community colleges, so they may not have all of the required classes that you need in order to graduate from CSUMB, like the lower division computer science and math ones, for example. So feel free to reach out to me and we can definitely chat about that separately. In events in the program, when you're required to attend at certain times, what are these events and when are the meeting times? So if there are proctored tests and orientations, those will be done on Saturdays. And usually it's a span across the entire day on Saturday. So sometimes you might have an exam in the morning and then an orientation in the afternoon, but we do want to be mindful of the time for everybody. And we try to only make sure that the required exams and orientations are on Saturdays. And then if for some reason something happens, some of them are recorded, but the exams you will need to be logged in at a specific time. And then sponsoring the capstone, that is mainly for people who, if someone has an idea for a capstone, they can sponsor it by doing the application, by submitting their idea to Dr. Tao, and that is what he means essentially by sponsoring the capstone. The application, it lists that it has it's an extended education versus the main campus. It will not have any difference. It is the same exact degree. It's just offered through a different source, but you will receive the same degree that the on-campus students receive. Okay. So we will go ahead and wrap up. If anyone has any questions or anything, you're more than welcome to reach out to me. Thank you so much to the alumni who are able to visit us. Thank you, Matt, Luciano, and Victor. Thank you, Dr. Tao. I'm going to share my screen with the contact information. But if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email and I am very happy to help.
Thank you so much, Kayla. It's wonderful to have the open house. Thank all of you for coming. Definitely thank Matthew and Luciana and Victor. Come to campus when you feel safe. I will show you around. Now you're grown up. I can buy a beer. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.